Okay, so this is HRU data file which we opened earlier, which we saw earlier, and going to view word wrap, and that's how this file look like, right? So it has that HRU ID, and then you have the topographic information, hydrology information, soil information, and all that, everything is stored here. So this text info out folder is the SWAT model itself. And then there would be, did we save the executable? No. I'll leave that part. So if you want to see like, so these are the input files which will be used by the SWAT executable to run the model. So everything is in these files. So there is no connection after yesterday's session with the QSWAT plus now. Okay, so SWAT plus just need these text files to run itself. One of the file is land use management file, which is the most complicated file because there are a lot of things happening in that file. So we will discuss about this file a lot today. So we will try to generate a land use management for the our corn HRUs. Okay, that we will do later on the hands-on exercise side. So this is the structure of the land cover management. So there may or may not be some structural operations like tile drainage, or if there is any BMPs you have installed or something like that. So those would be under the land cover management files. And based on the land cover, there could be some plant further management about plants, or about the urban, or about the forest management. So based on your land cover, there would be some further files. For example, if you have corn, then you may want to define the different management operations into that one, and those would be saved under the management schedule files. There would be planting operation, harvest operation, tillage operation. So that entire thing would comes under land use.lum file. Okay. And we will work on that one today. Okay, let me go to, so there are two ways you can open the SWAT editor. So one way is you open your QGIS SWAT plus project, and then go to the step 3 to open the editor. Let me do this very quickly from previous one. One way is you can open your QGIS project and you can go from there, or you can open SWAT plus editor directly. Okay. So I clicked on step 3 and SWAT editor is on. So this is SWAT interface. Did everybody open the SWAT editor? Click on the step 3. It's finished now. Yeah, so okay. Click on the step 2. So generally, this step 3 would not be grayed out. So you can click on the step 2, create HRU. Okay. So click on the step 2. If step 3 is grayed out, then click on the step 2, create HRU. You don't need to do anything. Just click on the read from previous run. Click on read. You don't need to do just click on the step 2, read from the previous run, click on read, and then go to HRUs. Okay, I have to do that. Then go to the next tab, HRUs. Click on go here, go same, because I'm using the properties which we did yesterday, so I'm not doing anything extra. So as you click on the go, then create HRUs. Okay, then we are ready. If you face echo for error, ignore that. So everybody has the step 3 on. You can open the Sweat editor from there. Click on open step 3. Okay, click on step 3, and then yes, import new watershed if just in case if this appears. I clicked on import. So everybody is here. Just ready to go today? Not yet. So I discussed with exactly maybe some window errors. This don't usually happen. Just like yesterday, it was an error for the from Korean signal. Like we have a space we finally somebody give this. In this one, okay. So everybody here on this slide editor. I'm going to move forward. Okay. Let's make it big. I will expand it. It should show you the same thing like the yesterday we had. So we divided the agricultural land into agricultural and TEF land. So everything is good. So one thing, you can export these maps. Okay. So Jacqueline has done very good job that if you want some publication point of view things, so you can download these things directly. So you can even download the data into CSV form if you want to create your own maps or anything. So you can do multiple things. One thing before moving forward. So if you go to this button, you can press it and you can switch into dark mode or the light mode. I love the dark mode. I don't know. You can't read dark mode? Okay. You can read the light mode? Okay. Yeah, so I was working yesterday night because jet lag and I was not able to sleep. So I was working last night, but bright mode is too bright for me. So I switched it to dark mode. Okay. So that's fun part. And then along with that, so there are if you hover on this I symbol, so you will know what is the current version of that Square editor. Currently, we are working with 3.0.8. Okay. So yesterday I mentioned that Square Plus is continuously evolving model. So every time we are improving it and releasing the new executables. And the same way to make editor compatible with those files. So we have to improve our tools also, like QSwag Plus as well as Swag Plus editor. So currently we are on the 3.0.8. Then if you go to this help button and click on this one, so you will see that how you can, if you face any error, from where to go, whom to contact. One thing I recommend is whenever if you are going to put your error into the Swag Plus editor community, or you are asking us for any error, so we ask you to always mention about the Swag editor version, what you are using. Plus, you to us send a screenshot of error or define that error, like how that happened. Okay, so that's the way. But always mention the Swag editor version, so we know. if we have upgraded anything, so we will say, okay, why don't you work with the updated version, and that is the result. Okay, so yeah. So it will take you directly to those user groups. You can click on any of those. It will take you the web page over there. Yeah, there is SWAT editor documentation. I'm not sure how well it is. Is it ready to go? Okay. Yeah, it's still. So we are working on the SWAT plus a lot, and especially on its documentation. So many parts are completed, but a lot of still left. So those documentation should help you for the most of the time. But if something is there missing, so you can contact us on that one. Okay. So let's go back to our project. So yesterday we had the weather generator. We put the weather station information. So let's move to some of these tabs. So first tab is the connection tab. The same connection which I explained you earlier. So you will see how the channels are connected. So this connection file on the channels will have a ID, channel 01, and then it would have the pointers. Like what are the initial conditions? What are the hydrological condition of that channel? What are the nutrient conditions of that channel? Okay. So, and then you can click on any of those to edit them, and it will take you to those properties, and then you can change them. Okay. So for earlier, what I showed you, those were the text files. So you may mess up some formatting on it. The SWAT plus has a particular formatting where in which column this information should be, in which row this information should be. So when I'm editing those text files, I may mess up that format. So that's why this editor comes into handy, that it directly takes you to some Jacqueline has put some windows. For each properties, you can add your values over there, and it will write automatically that format. So maybe it needs a format of 5 digits, but you are putting the value only 2 digits, so it will automatically arrange it to the 5 digits and write into those files. Okay, so that's way that you are not messing up any input formatting with the while editing. Okay, the same way HRU connection files. So you have HRU properties, HRU ID, and what are the hydrologic condition, what are the soil condition, what are the land use management, soil information, and all those kind of inputs. Okay, and you can change it. We can change it. So there are two ways to change. There are two things to change. One thing, for example, I want to change. I want to keep the hydrologic condition of first two HRUs same. For example, I want to keep these two, both of these two, the same properties. So what I will do, I will click on this one, and I will change this file name to 002. So that way it would have the same properties. Okay. Then I can see what is included in this file. If I click on that, then you will see what are those hydrological properties there, how we are considering. So the best thing I like about SWAT Plus is that editor is that if I am confused, like what is this file I have opened, or what it contains, sometimes those variable names does not make sense to me. So here Jacqueline has put the direct connection to your input output document so that you can get a quick view of each file. So whenever I'm opening any tab, if I open the channels, then you will see a channel connection file here. If I click on HRU, you have HRU connection file here. And let's click on this one, and it will take you to our documentation. And oh, it's not working. Jacqueline. It should work, this one. Three point 0.8. Yeah. Okay. Are you able to open this one? Rest of the students. It was working. 404. The connection files. But those are not connected yet. So this one is, I am opening connection file. Is that available now? Yes, some 308. I tried yesterday night. It was working. Okay, yo, it's working. It's working. That really happened. So it will take you the input output documentation. So which file it is. Then you will know the ID of that HRU and what is its type. It's an integer type, or it's a string, or characters, or those kind of things. So each of the variable. So you will see the column name topo, but you don't know what does that mean. So this file should tell you that it is a pointer to the topography file. Okay. And in the documentation, you can read further and further to go where that topography information is stored. So it will say it is stored in the topography.hydrology file, and you can go further. And what is the information over there? What are the units of that file? So what are the default values of that one? So all that kind of information is available. So you will see always whatever file we open. So the connection of that file would be here on the top. So you can guide yourself more into theoretical aspects. Okay. So any question on the connections? Connection, how those files are connected, how you can reach them. So any information any doubts as of now? Good. So let's go to next one, which is basins. Basin. And click on the codes. So yesterday, so I mentioned two things. The first thing was that there are some properties, some default values in the SWAT model itself that comes when you are setting up the model. Okay, those are the default values, and those values are also distributed. That some of the properties are at the entire watershed scale. Some properties are there for the landscape units only, and then some of those parameters are related to HRUs only. So under this basin file, we have two of those codes and parameters. So I will show you the parameter files. So first, these codes, which are for the entire watershed scale. So as I mentioned yesterday, that we have three different methods to calculate the potential evapotranspiration. First one is Penn-Montiat, Parsley-Taylor, and third one is Hargreaves method. If you click on this slideshow, down arrow, you will see all those methods, and you can also input your potentiality values if you are calculating those. So the thing is that if we don't have SWAT editor, if you have to edit those text files, so you should know which file to edit and what to edit, because you don't know how to define the pamphlet error into the text files. But here, SWAT editor makes your life easy and gives you all those options which you can select. So because we have all those 5 weather information, we have precipitation, temperature, solar radiation, wind, and relative humidity. That's why I'm going to use the Penman-Montiath, the first method. Okay. In the same way, you guys can change the other properties also. For example, curve number method. No, curve number method is yeah, like the event code. So if you are running at daily scale, it's curve number method. Otherwise, it is green empt method. And sometime if your watershed has a crack flow, it would not have any crack flow. If there are cross condition or crack flows available there in your watershed, you can change the method. So the idea is that you can change a lot of those watershed properties directly through this codes file. Then if you have any question on any of those files, just raise your hand and we will talk. Otherwise, I will keep moving forward. Okay. Let's move to the parameters files. So in the parameter files, if you go to the SWAT plus text files, you will see these names over there. Okay. Like for example, this one is initial soil water conditions, surface runoff lag factor. So you will see these codes over there. And in the SWAT editor, so Jacqueline has put a nice description. And then what is the default value when you are using the SWAT plus? What is the default value and what should be the recommended range? Okay, range means like, for example, let's say I told you yesterday that curve number, higher the curve number is, higher the surface runoff. Okay, now for the agricultural land, I am simulating my model, but I saw that, okay, my surface runoff is not enough. I can change my curve number, right? I will change my curve number, so surface runoff is a little bit more. I change more, then it's more runoff. But the thing is, if you don't know, you can easily avoid the physics. You can get right answers for the very wrong reasons. If you change for the agriculture land curve number to 99, so you are saying that agriculture land does not exist anymore. Now it is urban land. Okay? So there is always a range which you can edit. So you have to respect that practical limit, respect that physics when you are editing these parameters. Okay, and that's where we give you some of those range that what is possible value. So you don't get your wrong answer, right answer for the wrong reasons. Okay, so you should know what is the possible value for each of those. Okay, so there are many parameters at the basin scale. So this file showing the basin, those basin scale parameters. So anything, the thing is, you change anything on this file, it would be reflected for the entire watershed. So all the watershed files property would be changing. So when you are changing a basin file, when you are changing HRU file, only those HRUs will be changed. Okay. The same way for the landscape units, you can check what are those landscape, what are those properties and other things. So I'm not going into that one. Okay, let's start my favorite part, land use management. We will work on this one now. So as I said, like land use management, it's a very complicated file. So there are file to file, there are many pointers, and a lot of complications can come into this one. But we will try to understand it as easy as possible. Okay. Let's go to first one, land use management. So this one would give you an overview about your land cover and what properties are associated to that land cover. We have 4 land covers, right? Corn, forest, pasture, and pasture. So that's why we have 4 different land use managements. Okay. Then each of that land use management is connected to a plant community. So in the plant community, for example, as of now, by default, because there was corn, that's why there is corn plant community. But somehow you decided that I want to simulate rotation, crop rotation, corn, soybean, like that kind of 2-year rotation. But as of so currently in this corn community, only the corn is available by default because we had the corn, and that's why in this corn community, this plant community, only one plant is there. So now you want to edit your land use management, introduce more land use to that those HRUs. So we have to edit this one. So we will update this one today. The same way, like the management schedule, we will add these 2 files today and see how we can introduce crop rotation. Okay. Rather than the default values, we will assign it as per our local conditions. Then the same way, like some of the other values, we are not going to change any of those today. So we'll first work on these 2 points. Okay. Let's take a look inside one of those. So if I click on this blue dot, I'm clicking on this blue one, edit. Okay. So the name is corn land use management. So if you go to the, okay. So when we define the connection files in the HRU connection file, so under the land use management file, you will see this name appearing over there, corn LUM. So now HRU knows what is my land use management. So they will come to this land use management file, which is land use.lum file in your text in out folder. The file name is this one. Okay. From the connection file, from the HRU file, it knows that this HRU, corn HRUs, have this management through this land use.lum file. So if you are changing the name here, that means we need to change the name into the connection files also. Otherwise, that it will not know that okay how my connection is working. Editor will do that for you. So, but we don't need to change the name. Okay. So for that land use management, what is management schedule? Management schedule is like in the connection file. One of our pointer was that this name. Under this one, our next pointer is management schedule with this name. And to edit this management schedule, we will go to the management schedule file and we will edit this one. So the name is very important. So these names are connected with each of those files. They are connecting your files. Okay. So I'm not going to change anything here. Let's see the next step, plant community, and click on this blue button in front of corn. Okay. So as I said, as of now, we have only one plant. But if you want to add more plants into the same HRU, then you can add more plant from this button. Okay. And this table shows that what are the current properties of that plant. Okay. Like initial leaf area index, it was 0. Like if you are under the forest management or if you are simulating some perennial crops, there could be some initial biomass. But corn or soybean, those are the annual crops. So that's why we are keeping the initial biomass, initial leaf area index, initial biomass, and those things are 0. You can change these properties. Let's go to next one, management schedule files. First, let's go to the land use management. Under the management schedule, you will find there are only 2 managements, one for the corn and one for the teff. So there is no management available as of now for the forest and pasture. So we are editing corn management. You can click directly here and it will take you to the management schedule file, or you can go to the management schedule file or click on this edit button. So since we have not defined anything, so according to the plant you are using, so SWAT will assign a default management file into the for your land cover. But let's edit it. So we can delete it, and then we will edit. We will put in new files. Let's do that one. First, delete this one. Delete this one, and go to the Advanced tab here. Advanced. Jacqueline, remind me when there is a break time. Okay. Okay. At 10. Everybody here on the advanced file. Okay. So you will see there are 2 types of operations you can define. One is automatic and the other one is manual operations. Automatic operations, like you can, for example, I don't want to define in my file. I'm doing irrigation multiple times during my crop season, right? I don't want to do that much work when defining my management schedule. That okay, on June 1st I irrigated, on June 2nd I irrigated, then I irrigated on July 1. That is too much, right? Then you can put some automatic decisions. Like for example, whenever my soil moisture is under this threshold, irrigate it with 10 mm water or irrigate it with a 25 mm water. So soil is simulating your soil water condition, and whenever those soil water conditions go below that threshold, it will irrigate it automatically from 10 or 25 mm. Okay, so you can put those automatic operations, and then you can do some manual operation. Like on this day, I'm planting, on this day I'm harvesting. So we will do both today. Okay. So let's first do the manual operations. Click on add an operation. Okay. Under the operation tab, you will see all those different kind of operations available for a plant perspective. You can plant it, you can harvest it, you can kill the crop, you can do the same, both processes on the same day. If you want to do separately, you can do that. For example, in many countries, what they do, they remove the first rice grain, then they remove some of the biomass of the rice and store it somewhere, and then they burn the rest of the things. So you can do the those things separately. Or sometimes you can do the same thing at the same time, harvest and kill. So those two. Then tillage, irrigation, fertilization, all those operations are available there. So we will do some of those operations. So let's start with planting. Okay. So I started plant for the year 1. So we will define a corn soybean rotation. So in first year we have corn. In the second year we will have soybean. So my year of my rotation is 1. You can define as many years as you want. You can 5, 50, any number of rotation, of year rotation. So if you define 2, and you are running motor for 10 years. So first year corn, second year soybean, third year corn, fourth year soybean. So the rotation would go that way. Okay. So okay. So that's where you need to know about your local conditions, like what should be the planting day and month. So we have two methods to plant to manage this entire crop management. So we have two methods. First method is you can do on the date base, like on 15th of May, I planted the crop, and September of 30, I harvested the crop. Okay, that is one way. Other way is based on the heat units, and this is more of a kind of sweat taking the decisions. Heat unit is heat unit depends on that how much solar radiations you are receiving, and based on that, it calculates how much heat units from the January 1st, how much based on the temperature of the day, it will be calculating how much heat units it is requiring. So you can define, okay, when 15% of my threshold heat units are accumulated at that time plant. In other words, what we are saying that when there are optimal temperature conditions for my crop, then planting. So each crop has their own preferred time, and each location has their own preferred time. That what are the optimal temperature? What should be the optimal temperature or soil moisture conditions when you want to plant a crop? So that way you can define it based on the heat units, like from 1st January, whenever the 15% of the heat units are required. If the year is a hot year, so you see that okay, this year the snow is melted very soon, and my field is ready to plant. Why I will wait for the month of May when I can plant in April? Okay, like April is like there is still moisture. This is hot year. There is still moisture available. I will try to plant during the April. I will not delay my planting. So that's where the heat units comes into handy. But if you want to go with the rigid schedule, that okay, I don't care, I have my irrigation, I don't want to depend on the rainfall or automatic temperatures, I have my irrigation, I want to go on a particular date, okay, 15th May. So that is general date in your area for the planting, okay. But let's go with dating schedule today. Select fifth. Let's go with the 5th of May to plant corn. So in the plant database, we have more than 200 crops different. So all those crops would appear when you select the plant name, those crops are there. So I'm defining corn. Interesting thing is there are many types of corn also. So you would say, okay, what are those? What is the difference between corn and corn 100? So when there is no number in front of that, so that is general, that particular crop, like general condition for that crop and for the entire world. But when you see 100, so for example, there are different kind of corn varieties. Some can mature very early, some takes time. So depending on your local conditions, so you have the different types of varieties. So this one defined like it will mature in 100 days. This one will mature in 110 days, ready to harvest after the 110 days, after 120 days. So different crops, and you can easily edit these properties into the plant database. Maybe you have 125 days, or maybe a little bit early. So you can do those things. Yes. Yes, you can create a new crop, but there are some properties for each crops we need. It's not that easy. Like you should know what is the optimal weather condition and what temperature it will go under stress. What would be the leaf area index maximum it can achieve? So those kind of properties you need to. So that's where we rely on the agronomy scientists they do those control environment experiments, and they tell us those different what is the temperature effect, what is moisture effect. So that's from, and they build these database for us.
Oh, can I see?
Yes, you can, like Chris told you yesterday, that SQLite database. So in that database, under the plant tab, you can add your new rows, and you can define them as new row. Okay. Yes. Or you can use the existing row, you edit the properties, and now it is your particular. Okay, within the same name, but you don't need to add it. You just edit the properties. Okay, so let's go with the general cone in this one. Selected cone. So yeah, one thing that whenever you see this drum type of structure in front of any of the tabs, that means there is some properties associated with that tab. So that goes into the database. So for example, those plant properties or the cone properties, those are stored into the database, and by clicking here, it will take you to that database, like what is the information under that database. So whenever you see this three drum type structure or database structure, that means there are a lot of behind the scene, some data values are there for this variable. Okay, you can click on this one and you can see. So this information is available under the plants.plt file that would be available in your text in out folder. And if you want to see in the SQLite database file, then the tab name would be plants_plt. Okay, but we will not do that. Let's save this planting. Okay, and what else we want to do? Let's harvest it. Let's click on the harvest and kill. Harvest and kill for the year 1. And if I planted on May 5th, yes.
What did you get there?
Okay. Add an operation. This one. Then save it. And kill May September.
Just two.
Okay. So yes.
Is there another?
Contact your farmer. They will tell you. Okay, so let's add one other operation, harvest and kill. First year of rotation. So I selected based on, I said, okay, 120 days, like 4 months to mature corn. So I planted on May 5th, and if I add 120 days, it came September 5, and I give it 5 days extra, so that would 10 to September. Okay, but I put it that way. Then select the plant name again, corn. Make sure that you are planting corn and harvesting corn. Don't do that, planting corn and harvesting wheat. Don't do that, okay? And there are different ways you can harvest it. For the corn, we are interested in grain. Okay, and there are different ways, like some related to corn, forest cut, or sometime you want to harvest just the biomass for the silage or for the vegetables. So there are many things you can do. But for the corn, we are going to harvest grains, right? Yeah. There are different methods. And each of this method, if you want to know about each of this method, so click on this drum structure, and that will tell you where these files are stored and what are the database file, what are the what would be the property of this grain harvesting. If you want to know, you click here, and that should tell you. That should take you. Okay, let's save this one. So we planted crop and we harvested. We planted on 5th of May and September. So at this moment, you would say, oh, I wanted to include tillage also. I did not till my field and I planted actually. I did not add any fertilization. You can do now also. In the slide editor, that's the flexibility that that you can add. If you forgot the operation, you can add it anytime, and it will automatically know based on the defined date. It will know where to locate it. But in your text out folders, those has to be in an order so Swag can follow the step-by-step process. So Swag editor do that. If you forgot, you can add that one later. So let's add tillage. Add an operation. I'm going to till my field. I planted on May 5. So let's do on the 1st of May. Let's do the tillage. Okay. So 5 days before, I'm getting my field ready. And then I'm clicking. There are many methods available for the tillage also. Okay. And what are the properties of each of that method? You will go to the database file, and that should tell you what are the difference between each of that tillage method. There are many methods. So I like the one zero till, conservation till. It don't have environmental impact, so I like zero till. Okay, let's save this one also. Now I want to fertilize also. Let's do fertilization. Let's go to fertilizer. So I planted on 5th of May. You can fertilize it before or after, whenever you want. We can plant, let's say, after 10 days. Fertilize, let's say June. So farmer is busy for the first 10 days in planting the different fields. Now he got time. He said, okay, I want to fertilize also. Okay. So you can choose one method. Either you can define by day or you can define by heat units. Okay. So we are doing days only. That's why we are not touching heat units. So there should be one of those. And then again, in our database, we have many types of fertilizers. These numbers represent nitrogen. First number represent nitrogen, second number phosphorus, and third number potassium, right? NPK. So the most typical fertilizer is used 4600 urea, 46% of nitrogen, no phosphorus, no potassium. We will use that one. And you can see there are many others also. Like if you want the organic fertilizer, there is beef based fertilizers which you can bring to your field. Then dairy manure from the duck industry, and horse, swine, turkey, wheel. So a lot of different types of fertilizers. And what are the properties of those fertilizers? Go to the database and you can check what are the difference in between these fertilizers. Let's go with 4600. Then there are many different operations you can apply this fertilizer. You can broadcast it, spread out. You can mix it with the irrigation and apply it. You can inject it into the soil. So there are many different methods. So broadcast is there, drilling is there. For example, I just said fertigate, like fertilization with the irrigation, injecting. So those side dressing, the different types of applications are available. Let's go with the broadcast. And I'm putting this number 100, amount of fertilization 100 kg per hectare, and your farmer should tell you that how much they use it. Okay, I'm using this 100. Depends on the area and how much yield potential is there. So let's do 100. Okay, save it. So we put the fertilizer also. So you can see the based on the date. So 5th of May, 1st of May tillage, 5th of May planting, 5th of June fertilization, and September 10th we are harvesting it for the grain. So all those properties are saved here. Okay. And then it is telling you 100 kg with the broadcast with the 46. All good. So this one is our rotation year 1. Let's add soybean for the rotation year 2. Add an operation. I want to do first tillage. I click on tillage. I will define the year 2 because this is rotation of second year. I will plant soybean a little bit later in the year. Let's go with the 1st of June for the tillage. And again, let's use 0 till. Okay. Don't forget this one, year 2. We are entering to the year 2, second year for the rotation. Save it. Give me 2-3 minutes more and we will go for the break after that. Okay. Next up, now let's go for the planting. Change the year of rotation. If you did not change the year of rotation, it will adjust to the first year. So you may have a tillage for the corn, planted the corn, then again tillage. So don't do that, right? So change the year of rotation. Let's go with the June 5th. So one, and now we want to plant soybean. Okay. Planted soybean. I don't want to fertilize soybean because it's a legume crop. You don't need nitrogen. So let's go to harvest. Harvest and kill. And September. So let's harvest it September end. Let's harvest it on 30th September. And we want to harvest soybean. And we want to harvest it for the grain also. Don't forget to change the year of rotation. Save it. Did we save it? Ready, everybody? Let's click on this save changes. So we edited our management.schedule file. Management.schedule. The name of the file tells you that we are defining a schedule to manage our land cover. If you want to read about management schedule, so there is tab on the top. And let's click on the save changes. And since we save the changes, and if click on the management schedule or back, so now you will see for the corn land cover, we have 7 number of manual operations. We defined 7 manual operation: tillage, planting, fertilization, harvest, tillage, planting, harvest. So 7 number of operation, but there is no automated schedule as of now. Okay, since we did not edited TEF, and there is only one automated schedule which comes by default. Okay, so we have 7 number of operations done, and let's go for a break. And after break, we need one more important thing to do before running this model. Okay, let's go for 10 minutes break. We will be back at 10:15. Okay. That's what we did.
That's one question. Yes, it's, it's like. Example,